Been acting differently lately. Disappearing and wearing different clothes. Are you gay?
No?
I want to be one of you guys. I can turn invisible.
Oh.
But only for 2.3 seconds.
Well, that's not bad.
It's evident in the sequence that my trailer and professional trailers tend to use shot reverse shot and sound bridgings to get a lot of the story and narrative across in a trailer. In my trailer, I tried to recreate this, and you've got the shot reverse shot between my two characters and then kind of what they're discussing in different shots over a sound bridge, which is a lot like professional products such as Alter Egos. I was able to get a lot of the story across really quickly because I could show so much while explaining it with characters. Because my film was a hybrid genre between like superhero action and comedy, it did need some fighting scenes because it was required in the plot. Unlike Kick-Ass, which uses real fighting and you can see everything that's happening, in my film trailer the fighting is very PG and you can't really see anything that's really happening, and anything that is physical contact they don't actually touch. I used a really fast editing pace to follow some of the formal conventions. This is because it keeps the action very complicated and the audience doesn't have time to analyse each movement. At some points I even doubled the speed in order to blur what was happening so you couldn't see that they weren't actually touching each other. At other times in the trailer I used slow motion. This is because it provided a contrast, much like in Kick-Ass. In Kick-Ass this is done with silhouettes and fire, but because I did not have this facilities, I used just a street with them walking down, and you've still got them all side by side and central, much like in Kick-Ass. The montage towards the end of Kick-Ass is much like the montage towards the end of my film trailer. There is a lot going on and there's lots of different shots with lots of different camera viewpoints and lengths and focal points, and this provides like a flurry of information, and each shot can lead to more questions that the audience is going to ask. Some of the shots in Kick-Ass are a lot more extreme than mine, but that's because in Kick-Ass it is a lot more action based, whereas mine is more about the dialogue and the comedy behind it. However, I still use lots of close-ups and long shots between each other to just keep the flicking forward and the pace exciting. I used a kissing scene because this adds a new element in the trailer. Although you only see it for a few seconds, it can lead to so many questions and show that there's a love interest or that there might be a relationship. This can attract a different audience and, you know, interest a lot of different people. In Kick-Ass they have them actually kissing, but I didn't want my characters to give that much away, so I had them leaning in because perhaps in this comedy they get separated and it doesn't quite happen at that point. To create a chaotic effect, just like in Kick-Ass, I used graffiti rather than breaking glass because this graffiti was already there and it seemed more sensible than actually damaging anything. It still creates the same effect without such a big budget or without the same facilities that Kick-Ass would have had.
I hate being good. I want to be evil. Good people just ruin the party.
How come nobody's ever tried to be a superhero?
Well, I don't know. Probably because it's impossible.
Putting on a mask and helping people? How's that impossible?